Wisconsin Broadcasters Association Hall of Famer Bob Berry ruled Milwaukee's airwaves in the 60s and 70s. He spoke with countless musicians and celebrities over the years. Bob collected remarkable recordings of these encounters, which he's now sharing with the public. Here's Bob.
Ron Howard and his wife Cheryl stopped by the studio in 1977. He told me that he started acting when he was 4 years old. He has acted in numerous movies and TV shows and produced many popular films. Most remember Ron as Richie Cunningham on Happy Days. Ron tells me about his career in show business from the beginning, and his wife Cheryl told me how they met and what it's like to be married to Ron.
Ron Howard and his wife Cheryl are with us today, and Ron Howard, of course, the star of Happy Days, plays the part of Richie Cunningham. How do you like being called the world's oldest teenager?
Well, I'm not really. I'm the youngest guy on Happy Days. But, it is something that you have to concern yourself with, or at least I do. Mm-hmm. I've got to try and look for parts where I can mature. I can't be a teenager forever, but, I still look pretty young, so I'm kind of limited in some ways.
That's right, you really do it. Did your parents kind of pressure you into getting into show business? And did they encourage you?
If anything, they did encourage. They encouraged me to do a good job while I was in it.
But I mean from the beginning, right? How old were you when you...
Well, I was 4 when I first started, and it was just kind of a fluke. My dad's an actor and a writer, and he knew a casting director who needed a kid in a movie called The Journey that was going to be made in Vienna. And Dad was going to do a part in it, and if I did a part, well then my mom would have her way paid, because you have to have an adult accompanying you, an adult who's not working on the actual film. So my parents' feeling was that I could do this one job, and if I didn't like it, I never had to do it again, but it was a chance for all of us to go to Vienna. And actually they were pretty apprehensive about the whole prospect of their son getting into the business. So I mean, in a way, I was definitely encouraged, but always told that I shouldn't pursue it if I wasn't interested.
Yeah, that's a good attitude. Of course, Fonzie Henry Winkler turned out to be the heartthrob on Happy Days. Is there any jealousy among the rest of the troops there? Playing second fiddle to Fonz?
No one. I don't think anyone frankly feels that they play second fiddle to the Fonz. Henry Winkler has built a character that has certainly captured everyone's imagination. But all the people on the show, they have a function, and they do that very well. And so nobody really thinks in terms of first fiddle, second fiddle, or third fiddle. We just come in and go to work, and we have a good time doing it.
I know you said you were 4 years old when you started out, but wasn't the Andy Griffith Show really your first, the start of your career, really?
Well, actually, from the public's point of view, that's true. Mm-hmm. But I had 1 year prior to the Andy Griffith Show where I did about 25 different shows in a single year. So by the time I got on the Andy Griffith Show, I had already begun developing a little bit of a reputation in town, in Hollywood.
Of course, after that, there was the courtship of Eddie's father and
Music
American
Man.
Graffiti, Music Man, right. Now, you shifted from actor to author and director. Is that a pretty difficult move, or for you maybe it isn't, eh?
Well, it's just something I've always wanted to do, and I've done it on my own films, 16mm experimental movies that I would do. So it wasn't really as difficult even as I had expected it to be. I got the job. I was real excited about it. I worked hard on it. But, when you get out on the set, you just realize that you have to do the work, and you start chipping away at it, and everything falls into place.
You've been typed as, as a youngster, so that must present, in fact, I think you mentioned at the beginning of the interview that could present some problems in roles. Right?
I was real lucky. I made a transition from, child actor to young teen, and then now to kind of young adult, and I have a big transition, another big step to make if I'm going to continue developing, if my career is going to keep expanding.
Cheryl, you've been married to Ron now for 2 years,
yes,
right?
Uh-huh.
And how did you meet?
We met in high school about 7 years ago.
Oh, so
And just kept going. And
childhood
married,
sweethearts,
yes.
huh? Nice. I noticed in an interview that Ron said that you got married instead of like many others who lived together. Do you frown on that
No, I don't. I don't plan on it, but it wasn't for us. You know, it may be for some other people, but we went together so long that we felt we knew each other well enough to get married. We didn't need really a test period.
Well, during all of his time, you know, the Happy Days success story, of course, it probably took a lot of his time. Were you still together quite a bit? Did you see each other quite a bit?
I think we do, enough for us. It keeps it really nice and fresh, our relationship fresh, but we both keep pretty busy, but I don't ever feel either one of us are really neglected.
We're talking to Ron Howard. Ron, as most of you know, of course, as all of you know, plays Richie Cunningham on Happy Days. Do you mind if people mention that all the time to kind of, you know, put people straight of who you are, so they can picture you?
No, a lot of people remember me still from the Andy Griffith Show, and that's okay.
Right.
That's okay, too.
Yeah.
But a large number of people who recognize me on the street now call me by my real name, which is very gratifying for an actor.
Yeah, right.
I love that.
That's good news. Okay, good luck, Ron.
Thank you.
Bob Berry.
Thank you for listening to Bob Berry's Unearthed Interviews. Be sure to subscribe and rate our podcast on iTunes or wherever you find your podcasts. You can find all the episodes at WisconsinBroadcastingMuseum.org. Check out Bob Berry's book, Rock and Roll Radio Milwaukee. Book sale proceeds support Angels Kids Fund and Donate Life Wisconsin. The preceding program was made possible by a generous contribution from Terry Vaughn.